get clear on your roles for your legal staff. Hi, I'm Coach Nate Law, and I'm here to talk to you today about getting clear on your roles for your legal staff. No matter how big of a firm you run, whether it's 1, 2, or 10 or 20 employees, everyone needs to know how to win and whether or not they are winning or not. If you find that this is a helpful video for you, then please like it, subscribe it, and stay tuned for more helpful videos. Let's get into this. When you're running a small law firm, you may often feel like you're the CEO, the chief everything officer, but what you may overlook is that sometimes your employees also kind of feel the same way. They need to not feel like they're cut in too many directions and juggling too many balls. They need to know what's important, what has to get done, and what winning really looks like in your particular organization. The number one way that I'm finding to help my team understand their roles clearly and to be able to have a conversation with them about how that's going is to have a KRA sheet. KRA, Key Result Areas. Everyone in your organization, including you, needs to have this. And it's the simplest, most clear way to make sure that everyone knows what they need to be doing and where they need to be succeeding. Now, it can be really easy to just kind of get into the weeds on this a little bit too fast and think about all the different things that you do in a day or that your staff does in a day. And we need to get above that and get really big picture on a key results areas sheet. So we're going to do a couple of things. Number one, we're going to keep this to one page. That's the first thing. We're going to keep this down to one page. It's going to be very simple. We're going to limit ourselves. So clearly you can't fit everything you do in a given week or maybe even a given day and how to do it all on one page. That's something that's more for the operations manual of your firm. That's something more for a how to get this done. More of a manual and a step-by-step. That is also very important for systematizing your group, your practice. But what this is simply a high view for each individual within your organization, each position within your organization. That's why we're keeping that to one page. So let's talk about what's going to be on this one-page sheet. First, at the top, you're going to want to just put a summary of that position. So let's start with you as the business owner. We'll use you as an example. So you might say, as the law firm owner, I am responsible for driving business into the firm and for providing vision for my team. It may be that simple. That doesn't describe all the actual activities you do. That just describes your main role and what you truly are responsible for. If you don't do those things, no one else is going to do them. They're not going to get done. No one else is going to provide vision. No one else is going to drive business into your firm and be ultimately responsible for those things. So that's a good summary for most law firm owners. So the next thing you're going to want to have on your page is 2 to 4 key results areas. Now, these key results areas, again, are probably broader than you might initially think, but don't have more than 4. If you got to squeeze one more in, have 5, fine. But the reason to not have so many is because otherwise you lose focus. If you have too many things, too many targets all at once, then your overall impact is going to be lessened. So again, using the law firm owner as kind of the example for this, let's say a couple of the key results areas might be 1, securing consistent revenue streams or clients for the law firm. That might be one key result area. Now, there may be lots of different strategies and activities that you put under that, but that is your key result area. And another key result area for a law firm owner might just simply be team communication, making sure it happens, setting the example for that. But you, as the law firm owner, are the one that's ultimately in charge of making sure communication happens throughout your firm. So that might be another key result area for you. A third example of a key result area for a law firm owner might be just financial. It might be making sure that the finances are on track for the firm or that the books are up to date, depending on how much day-to-day you have with that versus like your bookkeeper or CPA. But a financial one might be another big KRA, key result area for you as a law firm owner. So at this point, you might be saying, look, Nate, this is too simple. I do way more than that as a law firm owner. Chief everything officer, I do it all. And that's exactly my point though. For this sheet, this key results area, you need to have it in your head that these are the areas that I am the master of, or I'm the kind of czar of this particular area and responsibility for my firm. The how and the what are going to be outlined elsewhere. So we'll get to that. What I'll have for you is a little bit of a gift, just kind of a download for this so you can take a look at it, have kind of a template or some examples to kind of work off of, and really just make it your own. And again, make it something that is going to work for you over time. So going back, you've got the summary of your position and your main responsibilities, your main description summary of your position and what you do. You've got your 2 to 4 key result areas under that. And then maybe you have 2 to 4 activities max, really probably just 2 to 3 activities that describe what success kind of looks like if you are hitting that key result area and doing a good job. So let's take a look at some examples of that, but from the perspective of some other positions within your small law firm. So example, what does a clear legal assistant key result area look like? Or what does this page look like for your legal assistant? So again, we'll start with the summary. So maybe saying that the legal assistant is responsible for ensuring that the attorney or the attorneys have all the tools and data that they need to be able and execute on their client's case. And so some KRAs for a legal assistant might be ensuring accurate client data. So that might be one of their KRAs. And we talked about listing a couple of activities under that make it look like clear for your employee what winning looks like. So how can we say if they're winning in the area of accurate client data? Well, it might be that, when an attorney is working on a case, they have the client data is always updated. So maybe it's just their contact info. Maybe it's just the information that's coming in from the client, whether through email, mail, them dropping something off, things like that. So maybe that's what it looks like, is that their contact data is always up to date. That's just an easy example. Another description or activity that describes what winning looks like for that key result area of ensuring accurate client data might be something like ensuring that new matters or deadlines are opened timely. And that may depend a lot on your practice area, but let's say that you have cases that come in that are, family law, criminal defense, something that requires maybe some very urgent action from time to time. Maybe you need those files opened up that day or within 24 business hours. So you could say client matters, client cases are fully open, whether it's in Clio, Rocket Matter, some case management software, or a physical file. All of those things are completed and fully ready to go, ready to be billed on, that same day, or 24 business hours, whatever you want to put there. That's a very key activity. That's what winning looks like for that KRA of having accurate client data. Another example of a key result area for legal assistant or staff might be ensuring that attorney schedules are accurate. So maybe that's an activity for that would look like success, or that would ensure that success might be checking court dockets online before 3 o'clock every day, for that attorney or something like that. That would be an activity that would directly relate to that. And again, it doesn't tell you how to do it. It doesn't say, go to this website, go to those. It's just, this is a general activity that the details of and the how-to is outlined in your ops manual or somewhere else, but that describes what winning looks like and how to be successful in that key result area for that particular staff. So finally, let's just talk a little bit about how to implement this and just some tips for making sure this gets done and isn't just sitting out there as an idea, like, oh, that's kind of a nice idea, but it's too complicated to implement. Let's get this done. Let's get it done together. So the first step is to kind of outline this for your team. And the way I've been doing it is taking my personal KRA sheet, key results areas, with the summary on it, everything, showing that to my team members, and then saying, here's kind of a template. This is kind of what I want this to look like for you at the end of the day. And that opens it up for them because they see, oh, okay, well, my leader's doing this. This is something that's obviously important to him. It's going to be important for me too. The second thing is to kind of get their input and say, here's some areas I think that are kind of the main key result areas for you. What do you think about those? What do you think about the description, the summary? And just invite their input. This is a document that is something that can morph and change over time when you add, subtract either team members or add or subtract types of work that you're doing. So this isn't something that's written in stone. This is something that's meant to be an ongoing guide. And you want the targets to eventually change over time, but you want them to be clear and, so that everyone can reference these points of these key results areas together. So after you get their input, even if you can't identify maybe all the activities right away, at least get the summary and those 2 to 4 key result areas down and come back and work on those activities that describe that later. So then at least what you've got is you've got a kind of center point. You've got a reference point for you and your staff person to be able to talk about whether they're having a difficulty or whether they're just really killing it in those areas and say, man, okay, you're doing great in all these areas. It's a great way to make sure you're not letting opportunities for praise and encouragement pass you by either. Finally, a little bit of confession time. I used to never do this. I never used to have this kind of clarity written down where me and another team member could look at it together and say, okay, yes, these are the priorities. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And how that's changed is that now that when we're getting busy and we feel like we're being pulled in a million directions by casework, clients, just everything that's going on, we don't feel like there's as many fires. And that's been a huge thing for just the structure of both of our day-to-day, but just also the mental health of me and my employees. It's been such a huge, huge help to be able to say, okay, things feel a little crazy right now, but if we look at our key results areas, are we hitting those? Yes, we are solid in those. So we say, okay, that means that all these other little things are probably just littler things and the place isn't on fire. So even just having that little bit of kind of clarity and hope can really push you a long way and create a super, super clear and more content environment for everyone working together as a team. So go get clear on your roles for your legal staff and get these key results areas set so that everyone knows exactly how to succeed and move the team forward. What I'll do is I'll have a download for you to be able to take a look at that just has some examples for different types of staff as well as for the law firm owner. So you can just kind of have a sense of what this looks like and what we're talking about. Thank you so much for watching today. I'll talk to you next time.